ownership, or more specifically the price of COE, has been on everyone's lips lately. A number of changes such as the cut in COE quota and restrictions to car loans have affected the prices of cars quite significantly. In this episode of Point Blank, we will discuss the COE system with our four panellists. They are Christopher Tan, Transport Correspondent for the Straits Times, Raymond Tang, Honorary Secretary for the Singapore Vehicle Traders Association, and two ordinary Singaporeans, Samuel Lee, who is in the market for a new car, and Bruce Lai, who owns 4 cars. But first, let's take a look at what Singaporeans think about the two proposals raised by the Transport Minister last week. Car ownership has always been a hot topic in Singapore. So when Transport Minister Lui Tuck Yew announced on May 16th that the government is looking at ways to make the COE system more equitable, it immediately stirred up another round of debate. Singaporeans, it seems, are generally in favour of making the system fairer and welcome the suggestion of making those who own more than one car fork out more money.
There are some families with 4 or 5 cars where they can target at this group of people.
If you have a second car, meaning you actually have more responsibilities, right? So you have to have a really good excuse why you need a second car.
Another proposal was to tweak the COE categories such that luxury cars from the likes of BMW and Mercedes-Benz do not fall under Category A, which is meant for cars under 1,600cc.
Let's say the luxurious car of those BMW, and they have to pay more, is quite reasonable because since they can afford to buy the car, they can pay more for it.
Luxury sport car is another group. Normal sedan car, another group. That would be the correct way instead of lump them together.
Since its implementation in 1990, Singaporeans have had to grapple with the rollercoaster ride of COE prices. 10 years ago, in May 2003, COE price for Category A was about $30,000. 5 years ago, it was about $16,000. In the latest tender, which closed on May 22nd, a week after Mr. Lui's announcement, the prices of Category A cars are about $65,000. To be fair, the climb in COE prices started in 2009, when the quota was tightened. Earlier in January this year, COE price for Category A reached a high of $92,100 as Singaporeans raced to secure COEs before another round of cuts. The high premium has dashed the hopes of many Singaporeans who still aspire to own a car.
The car is not a luxury for family like my family. I have 3 children. I have an elderly mother. So without a car, it is very difficult for us to move. We don't keep a car for luxury. Singapore is a country, is a first world country, but is a rich country some more. But their citizen even can't hold afford a car.
Look at the family structure. If you have like a family of 5, 4 or more, then prioritize based on that because they really need cars. New couples, as opposed to those rich people who maybe only have 1 car and they want to buy more, then maybe tax them or make it more difficult for them. At least give people who really need it.
From the beginning till now, I think the supply and demand for COE is fluctuating so badly. I think it's affected a lot of people alive, especially the rich. The COE 60 over 1,000. Previously it was like 90 over 1,000. I think the government should actually step in and do more for the lower and medium income group.
Whether or not the two proposals raised last week will come into effect will be known by the end of the year. But what Singaporeans really want to know is, how will the measures affect COE prices and how will it affect their chances of owning a set of wheels? Is there a way to keep the car population in check and still make sure that the cars remain relatively affordable? Stay tuned to our next clip as we get our panellists to weigh in on this new development.